Hello there. Today, One Page Rules announced their new box set. It's called Jade Claw, and like their last campaign, they're going to launch it on GameFound. I would assume the campaign is going to run pretty similarly to the Broken Truth campaign. Just speculating here, but the campaign would actually get fulfilled a little quicker because now they have a lot of the process figured out, more so than they did the first time. Jade Claw is the all-new two-player battle box for Grimdark Future, featuring the Eternal Dynasty and the Alien Hives. These fan-favorite armies will be available in plastic for the first time. This follow-up to Broken Truth, Jade Claw, will be launching on GameFound later this year. Grimdark Future Jade Claw is the new epic box set for One Page Rules' best-selling miniature game, giving players everything they need to start right out of the box, with over 70 miniatures, dice, terrain, rules, tokens, and more. With pre-assembled plastic models and flat-pack terrain, you can get up and playing an epic battle of Grimdark Future in minutes. Follow now to get 2 free faction dice trays. The GameFound is going to launch in fall. I don't think they have a specific date for that yet. Just going to have a look at some of the pictures here. Here's what the dice trays are going to look like. Oh, those look nice. Yeah, if you don't know much about the OPR lore, here's a brief summary. The alien hives come from the remote frontiers of the galaxy, made of numerous subspecies shaped through advanced biotechnology and psychic powers. Then the Eternal Dynasty are a high-tech alien faction from the Kusari sector, using advanced robotics to preserve a fragile post-Civil War peace as they expand across the stars. It says you get 71 miniatures in the box total. That's just the basic starter box. I'm assuming they're going to do at least one expansion like they did with the last campaign, maybe more. So in the basic set, you get 35 Alien Hives and 36 Eternal Dynasty models. So let's do a little bit of speculation as to what we think that those models are going to be. I wanted to scroll through the actual video here a little bit because I think that's going to give us some ideas for what is actually included in this set. So they actually made some 3D animation for this. It says cinematics by Ape Man Robots. I would assume these aren't AI generated and they're actually made by a person who's reputable for making this kind of stuff. Using actual artists has been a big push for them, as it should be. So you can see there's for sure going to be some grunts and for sure some Eternal Dynasty warriors, and then also some soul snatchers. Here's Gaetano talking about it. I will link to this video below if you want to check it out. I am not going to use the audio just because I don't want to get flagged for anything. Here they have a warrior, grunt, and oni. There in the back, you can see there's a Ravager, I believe. There's a Soul Snatcher. In the back here, I believe that that is a Shooter Grunt. They look very similar to the Assault Grunts. Maybe you'll get 2 squads, one of each. Here you can see you for sure get a squad of Onis, which is like the main mech unit for their army. Squad of Ninjas. Looks like they have swords and auto guns. And then a squad of warriors with rifles. I'm not super familiar with the weapon terms for this army, but it looks like the Onis all have shields and swords. You probably get 10 of the warriors and 10 of the ninjas, then 3 of the Onis. I think that's a mortar beast in the back there. It could also be one of the new support grunts. OPR actually just released a whole bunch of new models for this set. They are coming out in August, I believe. They updated a few sculpts, and then they're also adding a few sculpts that kind of fill in some of the gaps in their Army Forge roster. So I would be willing to bet some of those are going to be included, but I'm not really sure which one. They actually have quite a few infantry options. There will most likely be at least one set of swarms. Personally, I would like to see some Guardians, maybe 3 of those. I'm not going to speculate on the weapon loadout because there are so many. I also think there's a pretty good chance they'll include some ravenous beasts, possibly some spores. They do have a pretty major rules update coming in a few months, and they might be leaning into the spores a little more in that edition. Personally, I think it's one of those things that kind of makes the army feel a little bit more unique, and that's why I think that there's a good chance you might get some spores with this set. Or maybe they could be in an expansion. Possibly a mortar beast. I could see them including that with the spores in an expansion set. Kind of doing like a spore-based expansion. I'm pretty confident there's going to be some warriors in this set. They would probably include warriors over guardians, even though I personally prefer the guardian sculpt better. Similar to the Guardians, these guys have a ton of weapon loadouts, a lot of different options, so I can't even really speculate on what they would go with. I could see them maybe doing like 2 different sets of these guys, maybe with a different loadout for each one, because you can go very melee, you can go very shooty, you can pretty much load them out however you want. I would actually really like to see some winged options. Maybe they'll do 3 with wings and 3 without. They didn't include any of the Titan-sized models in the Broken Truth set. I'm not sure if they're going to for this set, but yeah, I think I can confidently rule the larger models out, at least for the base box set. I think there's a good chance that they might include a Carnivorex. I don't think you would see a Burrower, but that would be pretty cool. Personally, I think a Toxicorex would be really cool. I'd like to see that. I would also like to see possibly a Psychorex. I would also really like to see some Synapse Beasts. These guys aren't the best to be printing in resin. Those little tendrils just break off. So stuff like this is what I would personally like to see more than anything, just to kind of help me fill out my army a little more. Actually, I think these are the Venom Beasts, and then these are the Synapse Beasts. I do think there's a good chance that you'll see one of the two of these included. Also, possibly some Shadow Leapers. They just added those to the line. I could see those in the set as well. As far as heroes go, I would say a Hive Lord is pretty likely. They just added a Grunt hero, so I think that's pretty likely as well. They'll probably have at least one caster. The Snatcher Lord could be the caster option, assuming they have one. Those are my guesses for what might be included in the Alien Hives portion. Let's look at the Eternal Dynasty. Looking at the current roster, it would be cool to see some Royal Guards. I think that's pretty likely. Maybe 5 of those, and then maybe 5 of the Scouts. I think there's a good chance you could see a Ninja Walker. I think those are single models. I don't think they come in squads of 3. I think there's a pretty good chance they'll include a Dragon Speeder. They need at least one nice big unit for each army. That would be this one for this army, most likely. I don't know if they're including the drones. These drones are kind of a visual representation of the various buffs that this army gets. I could see them adding a few of these in. I don't know if they would consider them part of the 36 model count or not. But at least from my perspective, I think that they're very much a part of the aesthetic, and like not having them included would be kind of weird. So I think you're at least going to get one of them, if not like 2 or 3. For leadership, they'll probably include a captain on foot, maybe an Oni captain. They do have some really cool Oni sculpts, and they have so many different loadouts. It's hard to really say what they would give them. And then the current casters for this army, they're called Sages. So I think they'll probably include one of those. They do have actual tanks. They're kind of like these floating arcs. You might see one of these in there. I think it would either be that or the Dragon Speeder, one of the two. Or maybe one of them could be in an expansion set. Hard to say. I'll put a list on screen here of what I think might be included. I haven't gotten any official word yet from OPR about like what's going to be included in this box. So this is all just speculation on my part. I'm not trying to spoil anything. But yeah, looking forward to this. We will be doing a promo game for this in about 2 months. So be on the lookout for that. I'm kind of curious which armies you guys would like to see in a box set. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video on this and share this with you guys. If you haven't heard the news yet, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the patrons as always. If you want to help support this channel, be sure to check out our Patreon. I also have various affiliate links down below. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later.